Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here. Now, we're on to the final bit now. We just want something to catch our eye. So when I zoom in here, what I would like to be doing is adding, I could probably add a house. It's up to you really. You can add a house into the center. You could add a house over here if you want in front of the trees. But I've left a little bit of space here because I want my house to be sort of here. Now, when you build the house now, we are going to have to sort of use the monoline to get certain shapes. And we're going to have a front part of the house, side of the house, roof, and then a door. And we're going to have those in the correct spot in our layers section. When we come to paint them as well, we're going to have to alpha lock them as well, because we're going to be using the spray paint tool again, and we give that sort of darker feel, that shade to part of the house and part of the roof, as well as where the base of the house is, so it's fixed. It looks as though it's fixed to the ground. So I'm going to go and put it on here. So I'm going to go and add a layer, and what I'm going to do first is go to my brush, get a monoline, and then I'm going to go and just use my light grey that's in this palette that I've given you. So the first bit is the house. Now when you draw your lines, it will automatically create a straight line for you. So I'm just going to go and join these up and create lines. In fact, I might go and zoom in quite a lot here and then go and join these lines up like so. And then what I want to do is go and fill that in like that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and use a different color this time. And then I'm going to go and make the side of the house next to it. So I'm going to add a new layer, and this is going to be the side of the house. So I've got my second layer, my second shape. And again, I'm going to go and just create the lines. And when you create lines going into the distance like this, make sure they're going at the same angle. I'm going to go and drag this in like that. Now I'm ready. I can see where that's going. And what I want to do is bring the front of my house in front of this wall. So I'm going to go and just move this, pick it up, and then move it just underneath that shape like that. So I'm going to go to my layer. I can see here that it isn't quite straight. So I'm going to go back into the front of my house here and go to my select tool. And now I can just go and resize this so that it sits nice. It's nice. There we go. Nice and nice. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a roof. So I'm going to make sure that my roof now is on top of all these. I'm going to go put my roof on here. Now my roof, I'm going to use the dark red. I'm going to use a dark red color here. I'm going to go into my dark red. And then what I'm going to do is use my monoline again. I'm going to go and make a line across here. And then I'm going to put a line on top of there. And then just underneath it, I'm going to make sure that I can draw on top the triangle that's on top of the house. So I'm going to go out and draw my roof. Like this, making sure I'm matching those lines. Like that. So these lines will all match in now. And draw that on top of there. And then what I want to do is go and draw that line there. So these are matched. Good. And now what I want to do is go and put the white in front of my house now. So I'm going to go back into my layer, and now I'm going to go and build inside here so I can go and draw this properly. Get my light grey. There we go. Get my monoline. And this time I'm going to go and draw inside here. I'm going to go and draw underneath it, so I can see what's going on. And then go and colour that in. And there's the front of my house. Now it looks a bit plain at the moment. It's very sort of, it sort of stands out from the page. You can see there's the house, but it looks a bit skew whiffed, doesn't it? So it's not sort of fixed to the ground. It isn't sort of fixed to the front at all. So I'm going to go make a new line. In front of this layer here, I'm going to put a door. I'm going to go and get this. I'm going to get my black monoline. In fact, I've got a dark blue. That'll be fine. Go and zoom in here. I've got a door, and then the top of the door, and then the bottom of the door. You can see that it's kind of off the page, off the house a little bit, so that's not to worry. I'm going to pick that up now. I'm going to use my select tool like I've done before. Is the door too wide? I think so, so I think it's okay. Let's go and zoom out a bit so we can see this house. Yeah, that looks okay. Now, we've got to go and alpha lock some of these shapes now, because we're going to go and paint on them using the stipple effect. So go into my stipple effect, go into my spray paint, go to spray paint, so get flicks, and hit that one. It's fine, it's done. And what I want to do is go and alpha lock the side of my building here. So just go and alpha lock this, make sure it's alpha locked good, and then I can spray paint into here. I want quite a small spray paint, and I want a dark blue because I want to go and paint the side of this, and then I can bring the opacity down now, like that. Now the front of my house needs the same effect because I need to go and paint. I'm going to go and turn the page around here slightly so I can get this effect. I'm going to go and build up the colour now onto the base of the. What I've forgotten to do is alpha lock this page, this model, this shape here, and then go and stipple effect across here and build that colour. Because I'm going to do the same to the roof as well in a second. Go and put the opacity up on that. And build that up. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same to the roof. And then I may just put a simple wash over the front of the house. I go to the roof and I need to do the same thing. Alpha lock this, make sure I alpha lock it, and then I'm going to go and just build this colour up onto the roof. Make the opacity a bit darker on that roof. Bring it a bit down on there. What I may do is this looks incredibly pale on the front of this house, so I may do something very light on this. Am I into the correct layer? Yes, I am. Just to take that brightness, that sharpness, and what I might do is go and build some colour just underneath this roof. And then pull out of that. As you look from a distance, the tree, the house, is probably not dark enough, if I'm honest with you. Let's just go back into the house here. That's more like it. So the house could well possibly do with being behind the hill, but we'll see. At the moment, that looks kind of okay. That'll do. So we'll leave it like that, and we'll say well done if you got this far. If you haven't, don't worry. That's it. Next, we're going to add some text, and we'll do that in another session. As always, good luck.